swinging. Came from the jungles of drunken demons, fighting them off in the Coliseum. Studied and learned how to target weakness. That's why your team would do better beefing with someone else who was probably vegan. Touch me and lose every single finger. Touch me and watch how I turn the scene into a massacre. As soon as he had the nerve to try to step to me, I was snatching turf. A matter of fact, scratch that, I was snatching earth. You tried to breathe to see how the asthma works. We don't compete. I'm not in a class.
Looks like we got 4 minutes 45 seconds. 4 minutes 45 seconds. I guess I should tell people that we went live a little early. Why not, right? Hello. What's going on, lover? The hell's going on? There he goes. YouTube's been acting the fool today, son. That's all right. It's all right. What's up, Dorm? Dude, I'm very, very interested in seeing how this new guy's gonna come out, dude. What's up, Arculus? Kinsey? Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this new guy to see what it's going to look like, dude. I hope it doesn't look stupid. And I hope it's not as big as a bus, right? Because if it's a well, it has to go straight forward. So it's going to be long, I would think, right? Which is going to make for a hellaciously big hitbox. So I don't know, man. We're going to have to see how this works out. Hopefully it's not stupid and they have them straight up like that, like some kind of dolphin, right? That would be so silly. I doubt they would do that. I guess we'll see here in a minute. I hope the auto attacks won't look ridiculous when they get high attack speed. I know, right? So from what I've read about this new god, it is an attack base, a basic attack base type god. So most of its damage relies on basic attacks from what I saw. So we'll see. We will see. We will see. We will see. Got the countdown going now. What's up, UK Paul? 1 minute 20 seconds. 1 minute 20 seconds. Everybody grab your drinks, grab your popcorn, because this is going to be interesting. Definitely going to be interesting. To tell you the truth, dude, I was not anticipating a new god before the end of the year. I thought that they wouldn't give us another one till January. So I guess this is pretty cool.
I'ma keep winning, winning. I'ma keep winning, winning.
But this obviously is going to be our last god for the year. This is definitely going to be the last god for the year. Here we go. Here we go. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. What's up, Kush? Ice. All right, here we go. I'll wait until we get 3 seconds and then I'll turn on their audio because that way I don't get a copyright strike like I normally do when I listen to their music. Turn off mine. And action.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Titan Dandy, and welcome to the last update show of Year 10, which is weird to say because Year 10 has flown by. We've had a bunch of incredible seasons, a bunch of incredible changes, and we're here to bring you one more big heaping helping of goodness, whale-sized you could even say, with the Yokai of Despair update. I am joined by two of the incredible aces of Smite design work, Aggro and Lermy. How are y'all doing?
What up?
Glad to be here, man. Excited to talk about our whaley boy.
Our whaley boy, yeah. Well,
He
we
is a
have
big
that.
boy.
We have some V-Shoujo. We have balance. We have more skins. We have a lot of stuff to talk about, and I'm super hyped to get in it. So as always, you got to listen to me talk for a little bit right off the top. It's just how it goes with some community news. So to kick it off, I said it already. I'm going to say it again. This is the last update before, like, heading into Worlds. Last update of Year 10. Next time you see me, we're going to be talking Year 11, and that's crazy to think about. But we'll get there when we get there. To preface, this update is going to be 6 weeks long. It's a nice long update. That means 2 bonus content releases, one on week 3, one on week 5. We'll get into talking about that a little bit. But, you know, those content releases aren't going to have balance with them because we want the pros, we want everybody getting ready for Worlds to have a lot of time to practice and get used to the mechanics for Worlds. So there will be 2 additional content releases, but no balance with those because we want people to have their time with the game as it is until Worlds, which is right around the corner. So to keep going on, let's talk a little merch. I mentioned this last time. I'm going to say it again. The SWC merch store is live and full of super cool stuff that you can get to support your favorite teams at SWC. So make sure to go check that out now so that you have your merch and jerseys and whatever else you need rock ready for Worlds in January. So you can show up. You don't have to wait in the lines. You can get straight to repping your team and showing off how cool your
Oh, that
jersey
reminds
is.
me, dude. I should
Maybe
be getting my
signed even.
sweatshirts in soon.
The last thing I want to mention is a little bit of esports to look ahead to tomorrow. We have the EU SEC playoffs are starting tomorrow, running through this weekend. So keep your eyes here on Twitch and on Twitter and all over the place for all of that goodness. Get in, see some awesome games as we continue to progress and close the gap between us and the Smite World Championship in January. Well, cool. That was a lot of me talking. Let's get into showing off some cool content, starting with some skins you can expect to see as we get into this update next week on Tuesday. We are going to have a new drop for the Color Forge Worlds Collide event.
So the new god comes
And
out on
it's gonna
Tuesday.
be wacky, slappy Heimdall. I
Right.
love
As
Yeah.
everyone should have expected, right?
In lots of colors.
a very,
What the
very
crap?
obvious segue. Like, Heimdall really leans himself to being made of balloons.
Yeah, I don't think I could have seen this skin concept coming from a mile away. Maybe
No.
even 10 miles.
What?
No. I mean, now you will. Next week in game, you'll see it coming from
I
all the
call
way
him
on the other
him
side of the
Delir. I
lane,
guess I've been
hard
calling him
presence
the
like
wrong name
that.
for the
But,
longest time.
As mentioned, this is part of the Color Forge event. So you're going to be able to recolor this wacky balloon man a bazillion different ways. You want to rack that Jazzberry Jam for Heimdall, you're going
Dude,
to
that
be
looks
able
so
to do
silly.
that. So make sure you're checking out the Color Forge Worlds Collide event, grabbing this, making sure to do those missions to earn all of the different colors, and how about we see it in game? You know,
Oh.
Yeah, we have to.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's Heimdall.
it's so
Yep.
There he is, Heimdall.
Heimdall. That's his name. I've been
Yeah.
calling him
Very
him
serious
Delir the whole time. Heimdall.
Those remind me of like the
Rainbow Prism.
the old like.
Dude, that
Little
looks so
snack treats.
silly. It looks like a fourth grader made that skin.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
The legally distinct
really distinct.
Snacks.
fruit snack.
Fruit
Yes.
Not the long one, the small rocky.
Right.
All of
I
the
love
colors
the colors.
and the particles too, and that's all going to change every single color as well.
True. And hit with the ult one more time. I'm pretty sure I
Right?
saw a smiley face down there at the bottom from the point of send off.
Oh yeah.
Yep, there it is. Happy little smiley face.
That's pretty good.
So again, yeah, tons of different colors. Any Color Forge die pack that you have will work, whether it was from the first event, this event, doesn't matter. They all work with every skin, and this is no exception. So make sure you're looking forward to this and picking it up and rocking all those cool SPL colors too.
Yep.
So next up, we have a DLC releasing with this update, and that DLC contains
I know,
the
right?
Cybernetic Overlord Hades skin.
Yo.
Ooh,
oh, this
that looks
card
pretty
art,
cool.
That's so sick. He's
Yeah.
like tearing
That
through
looks
a
pretty
building,
cool.
tearing through a screen. I don't even know where he's at right now, but he is wrecking some havoc.
Like some
Yeah.
ghost hands.
Well, let's see what it
ghost
looks
hand-
like.
Like cyber ghost hands.
Cyber
of
ghost
course.
hands.
And because his staff wasn't scary enough previously, now it's like a sword staff.
Yeah, cyber sword staff. and he has hacker hands, so that's cool. So this will be a DLC dropping.
I don't like the robot aspect of it. They should have kept him like demon-like.
400 gems. So
Ooh.
if you're looking to rock some spooky Hades, this might be a good time for it.
400
So
gems.
next up, we're diving ahead. There's plenty of stuff for next
Of course,
week's
they
update, but
they
we're
show
gonna
us that
kinda jump
goofy one,
ahead
but
on
they
the
don't show us
calendar a
that
little
one.
bit
Come
and
on,
talk about
dude.
Week 3 next up. So week 3 is actually getting an event. There will be an
Ooh.
event coming in week 3, and I have been looking forward to this one ever since the idea first popped up. It's something we've wanted to do for a long time, and it's going to be really fun. We
An
have the
event.
Smite Cookout event. So we're looking at super fun food skins. You're looking at an event where you can get in and get some of these awesome food skins that we always love making, that are always fun to see and play as, and usually hear because they're super cursed. I'm thinking of you, Odin. Hot dog bounce down lane, make me want to cry. But so this is coming week 3. So not next Tuesday. You're gonna have to wait a few weeks after Tuesday, but this will be the week 3 release for the 10.13 update. And let's look at some of the skins for it, because we got to look at some of the skins.
Yeah, look, the food skins are a phenomenon.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the
Always.
food
None of us
skins
could have
either.
predicted, right? That, like,
Especially the
10 years
taco
ago, it was
bakasura,
yeah,
that
we're
looks
gonna have,
horrible, dude.
These types of skins in the game.
Yeah.
We've been like, who would get those?
What are you talking about?
The answer is like everyone loves it.
Yeah.
They're just so silly.
They
They
are.
are.
Don't want to get hungry while
They're
playing.
expressive, you know?
Goofy.
Yes.
It's a good time.
Yeah. They also make you hungry.
That's true. They do that. Well, sometimes hungry, sometimes afraid for your life. So let's dive in with one that I'm super looking forward to. Amuzin Cobb. Amuzin Cobb.
AMC.
Oh.
They did there? Amuzin
Yeah, I get it now.
Lermy loves
Oh man, what?
If you that's the joke.
those viewers at home.
Right. Yeah. It's corn on the cob.
Corn on
or
the
amuzin
cob. Amuzin
cob.
Cobb.
Right.
Oh,
So,
and does he have like the little corn
yeah, the
like
little
thing
corn.
on the
Yeah.
side?
If you don't have those and you try and eat corn
Dude,
on the
that's
cob,
hilarious.
it is an immediately worse
Yeah,
experience.
that one's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Like,
It's a
that was
nerf to
big.
corn eating.
Yeah,
honestly.
100%.
Oh, especially if you butter it and you get butter
That's a
all over
corny
it.
Yeah,
skin
it's
right
sliding
there.
and sliding.
At least AMC here is doing you the service of keeping it in his wings,
Yep.
you know, so you can just
Keeping it.
take a
Hopefully they
scoop
show
off
it.
and get a nice buttery piece of corn. But I'm sure he's buttering up his enemies because he's going to
Corny
be getting
skin,
lots of
yeah.
kills. At least I hope so.
What the corn bees look like. Either way, this conversation is
Corn
incredibly cursed. So we're going to move on to the next one.
Come
the
on, they're not
world
even gonna
sub,
show it?
Jormungandr.
Okay, this one goes.
This one is loaded.
this is dope.
It's like a bringer
Jormungandr,
of celebration, of
a big old
festivity.
meatball
Well, this would
sub.
be an unedible. Like it's inedible. It's so messy.
Well, no.
Sub,
He's
no?
eating you. You're not eating him.
Oh,
Okay.
Well, I'm inedible, surely, right? Like,
Yeah.
no way. This.
But
okay,
they
well,
show this one.
pretty big,
Dadgummit,
like,
dude.
Probably
big.
could make it work.
Delicious. Look at
It,
those.
it actually
hot,
looks
fresh,
like real
you get the
meatballs.
steam
Look at
coming
that.
out.
Oh, and the
It
marinara?
actually looks like
The
meatballs.
fact that that's all staying in there is impressive. I'll
I
say
know.
that.
Whoever made
Meatball
this,
subs are notoriously messy.
the sandwich artists that created this did their job. They knew what
Yep.
they were
I
doing.
mean, it looks
So
like a meatball.
Let's take a gander at this one in game.
Oh, I
Where's
see. Okay.
werewolves? That's
All right.
that's her.
Hold on.
The olives are a
God.
bold choice. That's a lot of olives per sandwich.
I mean, it's a big sandwich.
Let's be clear. Any amount of olives.
Looks like
on a
he's
sandwich is too
slobbing.
many olives for a sandwich.
I come and go on that, but for the most part, yeah, olives are like a charcuterie board. I'm less of a sandwich olive man. So
Yep, I'm with you on that.
unrelated though.
This is not.
It's calm down. I mean, what else? Hey,
What else did you say?
Yummy, yummy.
Look at them. They're all running away from the delicious sandwich.
Sploosh.
I really love too that like the ring around where he's moving.
Yeah,
is
let's
like
see
a
the
paper
ult.
wrapper
Yep.
from the sandwich place from the deli.
yep. And nowhere near enough paper.
Oh no, no, your hands are getting
That mess.
covered in sandwich.
Yes.
Yeah, that is one big sandwich. Do you think that could feed a whole group?
Yeah, I want to see the
That's true,
AMC
yeah.
one. That's what I was
It takes a
saying.
village, they say, to keep.
They showed every one except for the one that I wanted to
The size
see.
of Odin.
True, that olive is the size
That's
of a person.
BS, dude.
So go back to that.
Yeah. That
So-
we've been eating for months off of like a quarter of this thing.
True. And the last bit I'll leave you with is that I learned recently that deli is short for delicatessen. Didn't know that.
Oh.
So unrelated to anything. I just, we're looking at a big old sandwich. I felt it was appropriate. So next up, we have one more skin to look at
Oh,
in the Smite
man.
Cookout event, and it's Fiery Frank Odin. Remember that cursed Odin I mentioned?
What happened to the chef? Is he okay?
Hey, dude, they let him cook,
What
and
the hell?
he couldn't take the heat. He had to get out of the kitchen.
He got cooked. No,
Yeah.
I mean you cannot burn a hot dog. It is a criminal offense.
It is a criminal offense. And the
it
bun,
will-
too.
Yeah, and
That
it
looks like
will
that should have been
haunt
Agni.
you literally instantly.
Literally.
They should have made that into Agni.
Yeah. This isn't actually even mythological. This just happens if you overcook
Yeah.
a hot
Right.
dog.
Don't
Yeah.
do it.
Don't
Yeah,
do
don't
it.
do it.
So,
They're gonna
if
make
you
something
thought
like
that the
that, they
original
should make
hot
that
dog
an Agni
bouncing at
skin.
you was cursed. Imagine seeing this. So that'll make for some epic showdowns and some weird food-based nightmares. But again, this is the Smite Cookout event. This will be coming in week 3 of the update. So, you got to wait a little bit. I understand. Not fun. I hate waiting to them the same way.
Oh, they don't have them
it'll
ready
be there.
yet. So
It'll
why?
show up. You're going to have all those cool food skins. I'm excited for it. Every time I get to play one of these in-game or get run down by one of these in-game, it makes it just a little bit better. So.
Yep.
So next up, we're going to jump to week 5 now, all right? So we're moving a little further into the future. Week 5. And we have the Foxy chest. And this has a Mischievous Merchant Artemis.
Yeah.
So, just a cool Artemis skin.
Look at the little tusk. It's like tusky, but
Like
bubble.
a ghost cat.
It's very cute.
She's pulling around some kind of cart, but she's a fox merchant.
Yep.
I guess
Artemis.
is the take here, and I love this hairstyle. How the ponytails have little fox tufts on the end of
yeah,
them.
that's really
fun.
cool.
That's really cute.
Looks
It's
like a
that little
miniature
It's the
article.
attention to detail on everything like that makes all of these so fun.
And the people love her wares.
That's true.
I mean, ecstatic.
She's taken Fafnir's helmet.
Fox
What
it.
happened to our boy?
What happened to her?
Why does he not have his helmet? Is she stealing that?
No. He lost a bet.
Is that King
He's on
Arthur's
dragon
crown?
mode.
Yeah.
Whose stuff is this? Where does she get this?
Listen, she's mischievous, all right? Like, you don't ask questions. You pay your discounted rates, and you get some really cool merch,
Okay.
Seems good to me.
So, all right. So next up, we're jumping out of the calendar view here.
So they're just going to show us
We're
card art.
moving
That's all they're going to show
a
us.
little more into the future. We're moving to SWC. We did it last year. We're doing it again this year. We're having drops for SWC, all right? Like, we're doing it. We love getting people hyped for coming in and watching the streams. We love being able to hand out cool SWC stuff. And drops are going to be a part of that. But we're not going to get into all of them today. We'll release content on that later. Keep your eye out for tweets and blogs. We'll have all the info coming out a little closer to Worlds. But
Yeah,
we wanted to jump
last
ahead and
minute
show you
tweets
what
and
the
blogs.
SWC skin for this year is going to look like, which will be a free Prime Gaming drop. And it's going to be SWC Star Awilix.
So cool.
Agreed.
So cool.
This
And I can
art
tell you right now, so that
crazy.
Laramie doesn't have to toot her own horn here. Laramie wrote the voice pack for this skin, and it is awesome.
It is awesome?
It's really good. It's very funny. Very.
I don't care about the
on
SWC
the nose
skins.
for the people that are going to be at the Smite World Championship.
Yeah.
I think people will really enjoy it.
Yeah, the best part about this is that this is the OG Awilix voice actor too in this voice pack. So we got her back again. Amazing work by her to reenact the role. What, almost 10 years old at this point?
That's
crazy.
Yeah, and to come back and give it this, year 10 SWC flair.
Where's the
And I always look
SWC
forward to
this
that
year?
too.
I don't know. Is it
setting up
in
the show,
Atlanta
I see a lot
again?
of the art and whatever.
Or Fort
but
Worth
I
again?
never see the voice packs before.
I don't know.
So I get to get in game, and I'm always listening for them.
Yeah, I'll just say we're so back.
We are
We are so back.
I don't even know how
So,
many
to give a little
Willix
preface with this
skins I
isn't
have.
available until the final day of Worlds.
It's in
That's
Texas
gonna be
again?
The 14th,
So it's gonna be Fort
Sunday
Worth.
the 14th of January. So we have a little time. We're kind of dangling it out there, then pulling it back a little bit. But I wanted to show this
Yeah, I
off
don't
to all
like
of
the
y'all
promotion
and
skins
also
either.
highlight that if you'll notice, the jersey she's wearing is the jersey you can buy 1-for-1
Yo.
in the SWC merch store.
Wait, that's sick.
You know what? I might make my
So you
own
can rep that
jersey, dude.
exact
I might
same
make a
jersey, like,
GGC
we
jersey.
very
I'm gonna have to look
purposely designed
into
them
it.
to be the same jersey, so you can be rocking out the same skin as
But there's the
SWC.
shame.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So as SWC Star Awilix, so super cool. And again, there will be more drops to talk about, but we're gonna get to those as we move a little closer to Worlds. We'll have blogs and social
Yeah,
posts.
they're
so just
free.
keep your eyes out. But for now,
Yeah,
just wanted
I'll
to
take 'em
showcase
for
the
free.
skin because it's a super
Add
cool.
it to the pile.
So now we're moving into some meaty stuff. We're getting the pros right here. These two pros, and to talk about balance. And we're kicking it off with something.
Here we go.
A little crazy sounding. It sounds like.
Here we go.
Kind of a duel change.
Yeah,
Yes.
big one.
It is a very big one. So essentially,
up,
we had
Brandon?
a meeting recently with some of the Duel content creators
Gotcha.
through a couple of our programs outside of the typical Twitter interactions. We had a couple discussions on how to
Rolling
spice up
ban
Duel, and so we
pool.
came to the conclusion that we wanted to try a new system. And so this system is going to be a kind of auto ban pool of characters that will be taken out of the mode temporarily, at the very least. So what we've done for this first round of it is that one of the biggest things about Duel is that Duel is usually dominated by the same couple of characters, kind of regardless of meta, just because they're either really good at 1v1s due to their kit, or because they are really good at killing towers, whatever it might be. So we have taken the top 25% of gods based on pick rate and ban rate, and also win rate's also factored in there as well. top 25% just auto banned. Players will still be able to have their individual 6 bans as well. So we are just really excited to see what kind of weird and crazy, metas people go to, builds they try, and what the next up are going to be, because this is going to be a very different duel experience than I'm sure a lot of people are used to.
Exactly. I mean, we expect to see a whole new list of characters kind of rise to the top because the cream of the crop has been eliminated from the duel pool. And this is something that we're intending on rotating in patches. So
are you in the
we
ban
might
pool?
Try some
I think that's a
things
different
here.
ban
We're
pool,
really
UK
eager
Paul.
to hear from the community on what types of gods they want to be featured in a patch. You know, we can do things like you can only play mages in this patch, or you can only play warriors, you know, things like that. Or, you know, getting involved with some of those content creators, figuring out those pristine duel pools that they'd like to be able to pull from and ban the rest, you know, kind of do these almost like formats through a patch. So we're really excited about this feature. We're excited to hear all of your feedback, and you can expect to see duel changing with every patch through year 11, just changing up this pool and trying to keep that mode nice and fresh.
Not just the pool, we're looking to do other changes in the future, especially revolving around the changes that we made previously in year 10. So we're going to be keeping an eye on all those features, and there will be more changes in the future. We don't exactly have a date for that for you right now, but we are working on more.
Let's just say, as always, the team is cooking. Like, we still have, you know, a little bit more of year 10 to finish out, but year 11 has been, it's on the horizon, but we've been staring it dead in the eyes for a long time. The team has been back there chefing, but we'll get into that later. So let's keep going through some year 10. We have one more map-related change, and that's just a light conquest
Map-related
yeah,
change.
so this is the start of the conquest changes and all that kind of stuff. But pretty
Conquest.
simple one to start out with. Mid-harpies, we're just seeing mid laners get a little bit too much farm, particularly at the high level. And mid-harpies are the thing they get the most easy access to, so we're just reducing their base XP from 42 to 38. This is a partial revert of a buff that we did to mid-harpies earlier this year, so should be not too
I
big
put
of a
my
nerf, but
chat
just a
like
small
this
one.
And
big
for those unacquainted
in
to
game.
just like how the XP
So
works
when
as well,
people
the
are
majority of the
bickering
XP
back and
that you
forth, I
see,
never see
like,
it.
in camps is from that base. So this is kind of
But
a pretty
I keep
solid
it there
nerf
just
to
in
them,
case I have to
especially
say
during that early
something, but
game.
Exactly. And
I don't even see the drama anymore because my
its
chat is
magical
so
lifesteal
small, I
reduced
can't
from
even see it
10% to 7%.
unless I really look for
This
it.
is the start of the end, hopefully, for Mage solos. As we've got a big
lists.
section.
Well, and I guess let's just segue right into that then. So it looks like there's going to be a lot of changes to the Mage solos like you talked about, and we have a handful of nerfs, which we're going to get into first, to go through that. But, you know, preface this for me. What's the deal?
No, I think that's a good idea. So normally, with
I don't know
this,
how the hell
right
I can't
SWC
cover the
patch,
bands,
we would
the
be
things
a
behind me.
lot
That's
more,
Twitch.
measured with the amount of changes
Twitch
we
is
want
doing
to
that
make,
crap.
because with the holidays coming up and teams preparing for
Trust
the
me,
Smite
if
World
I could, I
Championship
would.
to change the meta drastically.
So that's
doesn't
Twitch's
set the
new
pros
thing.
up
When
for
they
a lot of
have a
success in
sponsored
Smite
video
World
like this, they
Championship.
don't
Of
go
course,
into
that's what we're all
commercial.
rooting
They
for.
shrink the
But
commercials and
with
post
the
those
community
stupid
feedback that
ads.
we've heard from pros and the general community.
Another reason I
alike,
don't stream on
it's
Twitch no
clear
more.
that the current meta is not working that well for the majority of our players. So we are going a little bit more aggressive with a lot of our changes in this update. Particularly around nerfing mage solos and some pretty potent warrior buffs. There are some classes like hunters
That's what
that
it
might
looks
not
like,
see
don't it?
specific itemization buffs
Yeah.
in this patch, but because we are already changing the meta so much more drastically than we would typically want to at this time of year, we wanted to try and keep the game as stable as we could so that those teams could
hold on.
prepare and get ready to go for the Smite World Championship.
Yeah, as stable as we could in the right spots.
That's
of
not
course.
that's the wrong button.
Yeah.
You know, there are
And
some
without-
specific roles that are getting quite hit, I would
Yes,
say.
I would say so as well. And without trying to create an instant warrior jungle meta, which
Yeah,
we've seen in
yeah.
the past, you know, all those sorts of things. So
Yeah, and we'll talk about that a little bit when we get to the items that affect that.
exactly, yeah. So let's we can just start at the top here.
Do it.
This is going to be a long list of mage solo nerfs, and I think that we should probably just rattle off some of these in a row.
Please go for it.
Typhon's Fang loses 5 magical power and reduces the magical power to magical lifesteal conversion rate from 2x to 1.5x. Typhons being a really big power sink for a lot of this build because they get so much lifesteal, or got so much lifesteal.
Let's keep that in the past.
Yeah, keep that in the past. Yeah. Vampiric Shroud is losing 5 more power, losing 2% more lifesteal, and decreasing the health restore from 3 to 2, and the mana restore from 8 to 6.
Of course, now that I'm
So
using
really
Typhoon's
targeting
Fangs,
that
they want to
early
freaking
game
nerf
lane
it,
sustain
dude. Screw
with
you.
each mage solos.
So
And then Bloodsoaked
much
Shroud,
bullcrap,
the
dude.
upgrade that everyone is
Every
going,
time.
reduce the magical power from 80 to 70, reduce the health and mana restore on the passive from 1.2% health and 1.5% mana to now 1% of both. So again, health from 3 to 2 on Vampiric Shroud doesn't seem like a big deal, but that's per target you're hitting, and that's per ability. So if you use 2 abilities to clear the wave and you hit the whole wave plus a god, that's what, 14.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a big
per
number.
wave, and it adds up pretty quickly. And the same kind of goes for Bloodsoaked Shroud there, where it doesn't seem like going from 1.2% to 1% should be a big deal, but we think that you'll feel a pretty noticeable amount of health.
It'll add up.
Yep, absolutely. And then a couple more items here for Mage solos. Enchanted Trinket, losing 2% lifesteal, going from 8% to 6%, and 5 power from 35 to 30. Pythagorean's Piece, losing that 2% lifesteal, going from 8 to 6%.
Dude, every
losing
time
5
I
magical
get
power on
builds
space,
together,
and
they
decreasing the amount
nerf
of
the
power
items I
and
use.
lifesteal on the
It's
passive
so annoying.
by
I
another
just started
5
using that on
2%
Anubis,
respectively.
dude.
So
I
losing 10
just
power
started
and
using that
4%
on
lifesteal
Anubis.
in total. And then last but not least, Breastplate of Valor and its glyphs are losing 5 physical protection and 5 MP5.
Yep.
That is, if my last count was correct, 17 individual bullet points targeting Mage solo.
Yep, it is quite a lot.
And,
And that's
wanted
not
to
it.
localize, and that's not it, because
Yeah.
specific gods are going to get nerfed, and warriors are, and their itemization are getting some buffs. But we wanted to try.
Yeah,
and
that's why
keep
we don't read the
mid-lane mages
notes. We want to get it
as
fresh from their mouth, so
touched
we
as
get the
possible
the
by these
authentic
changes. So
reaction of
lifesteal
everybody.
A
focus.
couple small effects to some characters, of course.
That's
like
why I
your
never
Anubises
read
and
the
things like
notes
that,
before
but
I watch
we are
these
keeping a
things.
close eye on that, and we are working again in the
I'm
future.
finding
to,
out the same time you
give-
guys
give
are
them
what's
some love.
going
Maybe
on.
you're loving, you know, see. You'll see.
As an Anubis lover, I'm happy to hear that because I love Anubis. So I guess let's move into those god nerfs then, like you talked
Yeah,
about.
so-
So right off the top with Opwa.
I mean, that is a premiere.
Yep.
Mage solo
Off.
that we've been seeing quite a lot. And so what we're doing for Mr. Alplash is for Hallowed Ground, we're decreasing the heal on his passive whenever
Dude,
he picks
you
up a corpse. From
you hardly
5%
see
of his
him
max
in
health to
Arena these
4%.
days.
And then we're also going to be decreasing the cooldown reduction on Undead Surge and Corpse Explosion.
So
when
he's
picking
getting
up a
nerfed.
corpse
Wow.
from 2 seconds to 1 second. So that again has to do with just being able to spam the ability a lot, pick up the corpses. That whole cycle is just going to be a little bit less explosive, you might say.
Yes, and this is really targeted at his laning phase. You know, didn't nerf any of his.
Dude, they
scaling.
always nerf the
Able to pick up a
oddball
lot
guys
less
that they
corpses
shouldn't be
in team
touching.
fighting
You
stage
notice
anyways,
that?
Typically,
Yeah.
just wanted to make sure he's not.
Of course, they
being
all
as
revolves around
dominant.
Conquest. I don't know crap about Conquest. So.
Gotcha. Well, we're moving on. A little bit of a shift, but Athena.
They're all
getting,
SPO based
getting toned down
changes
a
as usual.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a little
probably
bit.
so.
She's been pretty nerf resistant.
Yes.
Yeah,
turns
she
out.
is tanked through it as she
Decrease
does.
So
HP
we
5,
are
who
going a
cares,
little bit
dude?
more heavy-handed with her and with some more Chernobog right around
Yep,
the corner.
we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that in just a moment. So she's losing some HP 5 per level, as that was a little bit out of band
Mm-hmm.
for her among the Guardians. Confound, that's the taunt.
Yeah, Plosh
Did
is a
scale
nice
down
Loki
and cooldown,
snap.
will now remain at 18 seconds at all ranks.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, Defender of Olympus. This has been the
Yeah, we
key
get the ripple
linchpin in her
effects.
pro viability is just
Yep.
using that ultimate to get around the map.
But that's how it's
provide
always been,
pressure,
dude.
wherever she
We're like
needs
the
to,
redheaded
increasing
stepchildren
that
of
cooldown
Smite.
from 110 to 120 seconds, and decreasing the damage mitigation that both she and the target that she's teleporting to receive from 30% down to 20%. So it should be a pretty substantial
Yeah,
nerf there.
that is a very solid list.
Very solid, Drew.
But
And
speaking of global powers,
speaking
Wow.
of global powers, I was about to say, always something hard. Global presence is a horrifying thing. in
Dude,
game if you know how to
18. Did
use
that
it.
just say 18
Definitely
seconds
another
across
like
the
you said with
board?
Chernobog.
yeah, so for Chernobog, a lot of this is focused
Ouch.
around his ultimate living nightmare. So the cooldown of this ability was 110.
Dude, they
going to
nerfed
120, just like
Chernobog
Athena.
again?
Had to be bumped
Is
up.
he
The
really
movement
that
speed
strong in
Chernobog
Conquest,
gets
dude?
when he
I
lands
don't know.
is going down from 20% to 15%, and he's also getting
Wow.
reduced damage mitigation again when he lands from 10 to 20% to now 5 to 15%. So just less effective when he actually lands, and it'll
Holy
take
crap,
you a
dude.
little bit longer to be able to actually
got
get
nerfed
up into the air
again.
again once you've used it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all that makes sense. Again, global
'cause of
presence
his
is
global?
such a hard thing to deal with.
mean his ult?
especially in high levels of play.
Oh, yeah,
So
global
it's-
ult, yeah.
I'm okay seeing that get touched. Now, in the usual flow of conversation,
There's
with
not that many
aggro,
people that
gloomy
play him in
aggro,
Arena
so
these
aggro,
days
you
either.
gotta
I mean, I've
talk
seen him
about
every now and then, but not
it's,
many.
you know, we all knew it was coming, right? It's Mamon. I mean, her damage has definitely been potent.
Yeah.
It has been.
And the gameplay loop centered around proccing soul spikes is working very well.
Because
just
Conquest
a
is
little bit
boring as
too
hell,
well
dude.
at times.
I've
And in
tried
particular,
Conquest,
it's all
it's
really centered
boring,
around
dude.
Madame
It's
Smite,
so
where that
slow.
is really supposed to be there
Half the
as
freaking
a
game, you're
tool
just
to
building
proc soul
up.
spikes,
I
not
tried
be a primary
Conquest a
damage
couple
source in and
times
of
and I almost
itself.
fell asleep,
And it was
dude.
simply doing
It's like
about as much damage.
38
as Soul Spikes
minutes
was.
of
So that
falling
means it's just
asleep
doing
and then
too much.
5 minutes of
we're
fun
decreasing
and
the scaling
excitement.
on that mark
Might as well
damage
just do arena.
from 5% to 2.5%, and it did have 5 base damage on it. It now no longer has any
And it's
base
very
damage
toxic. Yes,
whatsoever
very toxic.
Yeah.
For
that
sure.
mark.
If you don't play with
proccing a
with
lot,
people
so-
that you
And
go
it
in
procs
with.
a lot
If you play with
very, very
randos,
quickly,
it's the
which
most
is, again,
toxic
the
mode in
intent,
the game, dude.
But the intent is for it to proc quickly so that your passive procs quickly.
Yes.
We don't want the mark itself.
Yeah,
doing
Conquest
as
is
much
just so
damage as
damn
Soul Spikes,
slow and boring,
especially on
dude.
lower health targets. On high health targets, because the
Exactly.
passive doesn't do as much.
Trust me, I
it's a
wish,
little bit
I
more
really
acceptable.
wish
So
I liked
we think
Conquest
this
because
will
my
be a pretty
channel would
substantial
probably be
nerf
4 times
to
bigger than
her,
it is now.
particularly
I
in the
probably
early
had
game,
over
losing
40,
that 5 base damage
20,000
because it's
freaking
proccing
subs
3, 4, 5
if I
times.
liked
Should be
Conquest.
fairly
I just
noticeable.
don't like
But
Conquest.
she definitely
So I'm not
is
gonna try to
carrying
play
that
something
high
just
risk,
for
high
subs, you know what I'm
reward play
saying?
style.
Yeah.
If she doesn't successfully kill her target, she doesn't do a whole lot of anything. So
Yeah.
we wanted to make sure that
Stands to reflect.
yeah.
Nah, just because I don't like it
And to
doesn't
be
mean
clear,
that other people
this
are.
will
We
affect
have Reapers that
Madame's
play
mark, whether you apply
Conquest.
it with Madame Fangs
Every now and then you go
or
into our
Explosion of
Discord,
Souls,
you'll
whether
see
you
them.
or the alt.
I
that
personally just
mark
only
damage
play
is getting
arena.
nerfed either way.
Got it. Well, I mean, it makes sense. We're able to fine tune a little better now because it's been almost 2 months. I think.
Oh yeah, I
since
wish
I've
Arena
been
get a new,
Battleground,
new
so
map
people
for sure.
People are starting to reach that skill ceiling or get closer, starting to learn how to play the character. So we're able to see what
That
it
would
is
be awesome,
really
dude.
definitively about the kit that might make it too strong or too underpowered. And this time she's
It's been
still
the
just learning how
same
to
map
damage.
forever,
Yeah.
dude. They-
Cool. So next up,
I'm sure there's a way they could
the
change
wave
it.
Man.
So he was not in the original bout of Mage solos, but he certainly did start to show up as the time has gone on. So Poseidon is going to be receiving a change to his passive, changing tides, being that he is getting a reduced amount of increased ability damage at max tide from 20% to 15%. So if
Wow.
he's just there gathering up tide from his basics, and then especially with his
5%, that's a
he
huge
won't be able
nerf,
to do as
dude.
much increased damage when he's at that absolute max point.
Yep.
On top of that, we're also changing Trident, which is his basic tech stim. That is getting an increased cooldown from 16 to 12 to 15 seconds in our range. So he's still going to get a slight bit of shift there, but mostly sitting on the back end of it. And it's even going to get nerfed alongside that because the base damage is going to be going down across the board by 10. So it was 30 to 70. Now it is 20 to 60. So we're not trying to punish the mid version of Poseidon too
Bruh.
bad, but we are trying to take the things that make him a little bit excessive over in solo and bring that down a bit.
Exactly. Trident was the ability to max in solo the most of the time,
Yeah.
whereas in mid, you might not. You would still put points into it fairly early, but it wouldn't be
Release
as
the
potent
Kraken!
in that slot. So, and remember that base damage is per little wave, I
Yeah.
believe. So it is 10 base damage. is
Golly,
really
dude, that's
20
the.
or if you're hitting
Those
all
are some
three, it ends up
nasty,
being a pretty big deal.
nasty nerfs for
Yeah,
Poseidon there.
Cool. Yeah, Poseidon's always been threatening, so not hurt to see that. Raijin up next.
Yeah, Raijin is kind of the poster god for
Bro.
solo, right?
Yeah.
Why
He's
do they
the
keep
initial
nerfing this
offender.
guy?
He's the
Nobody
guy.
plays
So
him.
we wanna
Well,
make sure we hit
nobody
him,
in arena. I'm
but
sure
it
in
is slight.
Conquest, I'm
It's
sure
really
he's
not
probably popular.
overperforming too much.
Dude,
but I
in
think the
arena, nobody
perception,
plays this dude.
Outweighs the performance necessary.
I
And
maybe
especially
see him
keep in
once
mind
a
that
month,
even though
if
this
that.
might just seem like a small nerf, he's getting every item that we talked about as well.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
It's a whole
And those
it's
are
a
big.
lot.
Yeah, it's a lot for Raijin. It is, he's kind of in the point now where his numbers are probably just statistically weaker than they were before he got his spicy
Yeah.
bonus.
Dude,
or
nobody
spicy
plays
buff,
that fool.
And he was considered one of the worst mages in the game. at
Yeah,
that
I mean,
time.
we did do a couple other shifts to him as well
Sure,
that
of
make
course.
him feel a little bit more
You're thinking about
interactive
trying
to
him?
play as,
I was just
which is
put.
really
I
great,
was
but we also
actually
need to
putting
make sure
together a
that, you have
Poseidon
those
build,
couple
which
extra
I don't
options,
even know if I'm
you're
gonna go
not
forward
feeling
with it
too
now.
strong that you can push everything else.
Exactly. Just trying to hurt his clear because it
Yes.
is still very, very potent.
Fair enough. Well, now for one of the scariest gods in the entire game, Ratatoskr.
I mean, he can be in
He
the right
can be.
hands,
He
for
can be.
sure.
Not just, but he can be.
But essentially, Ratatoskr is kind of this jack of all trades. He can go in solo, but he's really just good as an all-rounder jungle. He can kind of get whatever
He's
you need
losing
him to do
20
done, whether that's
damage
dive, whether
late
that's,
game,
keep people
plus
distracted, even
5%.
tank a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
He's pretty good at all of that. So what we basically wanted to do here is to touch a little bit of his early game and a little bit of his late game, but specifically centered around Acorn Blast, which is his 3. And this is going to take
Ratatoskr
the
is
damage
very,
down in
very
terms
strong.
of the base. Just basically mostly focused in the late game and going down 20 in the late game, but not at all at rank 1. So if you're not leveling this, if you're in solo lane, it's not really going to affect you as heavily. But that scaling is what's going to be important here as well, because it's also going down by 5% from 60 to 55.
Yep, he just was the best, just best jungler in the SPL.
Yeah, I hate that rat
playoff.
too, dude. He's
Again,
such a
we
pain in
don't
the
wanna
butt.
completely
Every
rewrite
time
the
I get
SPL
freaking
meta
ulted by
Yes.
him, I'm pretty much
in
dead
other
if I'm
roles
playing a
besides
mage, dude.
solo.
Unless
So
I'm
we
playing
didn't
my
want to
my
just
super Cuckoo
eliminate
build.
Ratatoskr, but he
If
was
I'm playing my
over-
anti-stand
overperforming
build in
just
Cuckoo,
slightly, so just a small
I'm like,
Yeah, just a little tune.
I'll make me
Still expect
a
he'll still
Daniel
be good.
Boone
Oh,
hat
yeah,
with
for
that
sure.
Ratataskar.
So now we've made it through the nerfs. We made it through both item and god nerfs. Now we're getting into buff territory. What you think needed to be made stronger to continue to counteract and maneuver towards this final build of the year. So, I mean, is there anything we want to tail in, or are we diving right into items?
No, I think we can just head right into it. And the first one is pretty simple. We can kind of group these first three. The warrior shields are all receiving buffs, and it's all the same one. They're all just going down 50 gold and gaining 50 health. We definitely heard a lot of the discussion, and read every thread about warriors and their itemization problems. But this
get
close
off
to
me.
the Smite World Championship, we felt like we really couldn't.
Dude,
Safely
did they
do
buff
anything
Cuckoo?
particularly drastic, though of course that feedback is being
it'd be-
heard and prepped for year 11.
Yep.
We didn't
What's
want
up,
to
Yam?
instantly give them a lot of damage through this early itemization, but just make it a little bit cheaper and a little bit more cost effective with that extra HP.
Thor and
then
Bolt
some of
Rat
these
are
other
both
buffs that
very
are there
annoying.
Are meant to help them sustain through the lane a little bit better.
Yeah, exactly.
You must be very persuasive, being able to walk into the shop and say, "Give me 50 gold back and make my items give me more health." So
Yep.
impressive to do that thrice over. So then Pestilence comes up next.
Yeah, so you talked a little about sustain. Well, this is kind of anti-sustain.
Anti-
So a lot
Decrease
of
the
builds
cost
in
of
solo
pestilence
were
by
focused around that
100.
lifesteal that we talked about.
not
so
bad, I guess.
what better to counter lifesteal than anti-heal? And Pestilence is going to be receiving a buff to kind of help with that as well. It's going down 100 gold from 2,400 to 2,300, and we're also giving it 15 HP 5. So if you do end up against someone that's doing lifesteal, doing healing, whatever it might be in the solo lane that's magical, this is not a bad first item to get anymore.
Oh, not at
No,
all.
no. Someone like Sun Wukong, King Arthur, having the ability to build something like Bluestone and then build into Pestilence to get that.
I
early
tell you what, I
defense
love
and
that. That's
stack
my
some
favorite build
HP5
I've
to
ever
get
done
that
for him,
sustain
dude.
and
That
reduce
is my
theirs
new
and
top
get
secret
magical
build.
protection and
I'm not going to do a
health, which
video
we
on
should
that
be
build
pretty
anytime
helpful.
soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, soul.
That's my own personal
So,
top secret build, my anti-stand
buff for
build. So when
Archdruids,
all those
this is
stands
one of
see me
those,
in there and want to
items
target
that
me, I'm like,
was
bring it, baby,
contributing because
bring
the
it.
very beginning of year 10, Warriors were
UK
quite
Paul
strong.
tried it out, and he's been kicking butt
Seems
with it.
like that
They
isn't
came
the
out
case
swinging.
with how they are right now.
Yeah, so
but
shh,
they
don't
are-
be
they
sharing
were
that
very strong
build.
at
Keep
that
it to
time.
that's on
Archdruid
Reaper
Fury
only.
was one of
That's
the big
top
reasons
secret
why.
Reaper only build.
Got a little bit of a nerf, ended up falling out of the meta, so we're just giving it some more protections to come back. And again,
Pugs are not
those
allowed to
tanky
have that
characters
build.
that want to build these prots and utilize that Archdruid's passive should be happy to see these prots going up.
Happy to see him come back. All right, we're down to 2 more for the item buffs, starting with Dawnbringer. Looks like just more health, more HP 5.
So we know hybrid is a very strongly failed
Yep.
discussion throughout the community right now. And we want
Constantly.
to make sure that people still have
Consistently
an
for
option
me,
to
I've
go
always-
a little
I
bit
usually
of power
get
if they
anywhere-
want it.
Yeah.
And
I
so the
usually always
hammers are
get
kind of
over
the closest
40K.
thing that they have to that at this point in time. So we want to
Yeah.
make sure that all of those hammers are still feeling like a pretty solid option. But the one that we're seeing that's kind of on the cusp of being bought, but is still not quite there is Dawnbringer. So we are adding a 4th stat onto it being the HP 5, so that will kind of make you feel a little bit better about getting it early because we know the ultimate trigger is not the most useful in lane.
And the
for
reason
a
being is
couple
because
of
it allows you to
characters. So
stay in the
characters that
fight
are
longer and
using
do
it
more
quite a
damage.
lot,
You're
well,
not
they
having
have
to
it a little
back
bit
as
better if
much.
they want to go into that ultimate trigger.
Yep.
Awesome. Sounds good. Last but not least, Warrior's Axe getting a little stronger.
Yeah, just increasing that physical power from 15 to 20, and this is to try and help a lot of those warriors who do have trouble clearing the wave.
Yeah.
20 power is on the high end of
Cuckoo
what
just got buffed, baby.
physical
My
starters
Cuckoo
get,
just got buffed.
a lot of the time. So this is actually higher.
just
than
got
something
5
like
more
Death's Toll, which I think
five
is
more
at
physical
18
power.
right now. But we just felt like we wanted to make sure that that was a big discussion point. Warriors need more damage early in order to help compete, and some sustain in order to help.
Oh,
them
just
take
the physical
hold of
power,
these
not the
nature.
magical
So giving
power of
them-
it. Okay,
getting
never mind.
HP 5 on
I
Pestilence
retract
and
that last
on
comment.
Dawnbringer should help with that sustain a little bit.
Yeah.
As well as the multitude of nerfs.
Although I have been using that on a
itemization.
lot of my
But
tank builds
just giving
too.
them a little bit more power in that early game, and specifically something that jungle warriors won't be able to go.
Yes, that was the other big focus of these buffs that you just heard, was that we want to make sure that these items are specifically focused on how to help you in solo lane.
Yep.
Specifically the lane, because we've had warrior jungle metas before. They can be a little bit difficult, especially having a very tanky jungler. So we want to make sure, again, this is specifically for the
Design process like one of those big whiteboards.
Susana Gabriela Mendez Reina subscribed to the channel.
Not the jungle, but
Susanna,
also,
welcome to the GGC, my friend. Welcome to
GGC.
GGC.
Change the
A
meta.
new
in such
Reaper
a
has
soft but
arrived.
concise way.
Yep.
Always impressed with y'all. I love complimenting them
Appreciate
on
you.
the show.
Oh.
Mulan's
let's
good
move
with
in.
Warriors
God
Axe.
buffs.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure she is.
Our-
That's a
our
real
boy on
powerful
our
weapon,
So we've got a
actually.
lot of warriors.
Now that
on
they
this
buffed
list,
it up.
as you will see.
Yep.
So first up is Achilles, of course, starting with an A. Radiant Glory is going to be having a bit of a change to it, where it used to gain that extra heal from the targets at rank 5, but now it is 4 at all ranks, so you can heal from the 4 targets, which is very nice. Combat Dodge as well is his kind of, it can be his clear tool for the very skilled Achilles players, but for many other players it can just be your escape, your movement, whatever you need it to do.
Yeah.
It's going down in cooldown as well at the lower end, so again in the laning phase,
Nice.
14 to 10 to 12 to 10.
Got it. Rock and roll. Next up, you know her, you love her, Bologna.
Bologna, yeah. Bologna, it was closer to viability than a lot of these other warriors, so her buff
Increase
isn't quite
heal
as big,
on
but
third
felt like
hit.
she was starting to fall behind a little bit. And as you saw with Achilles, and as you'll see with some of
4
these other gods,
by 4.
just trying to focus on their laning phase more
Yes.
than anything else.
Bologna's another one that, dude, if
Scourge,
she gets
just
up on
increasing
you,
that
it's
sustain
like
for
trying to
that
get
third basic
freaking
attack is such
sap
an
off you.
iconic
She
part of
just
Bologna's
sticks
kit.
to you like glue, dude.
And Eagle's Rally just used to be a very potent ultimate back in the day.
Oh, it was crazy.
And has just kind of fallen off in terms of power level
Eagle's
among
Rally.
other warrior ultimates in particular. So just getting a good amount of base damage, just 10 more per rank, which ultimately ends up being 50 extra base
You know,
damage.
I've
at
only
rank
played
5,
Bologna maybe like once
which
or
should be
twice
pretty
my whole
noticeable.
life,
Of course,
dude.
you get all the other benefits
probably
from
should take a
Eagle's
look
Rally
at her.
still, but,
Yep.
Because
just
every time I
was
play
a little
against one of
lacking in
them,
damage
Yeah,
department.
just a little bit
He's
of
a
tune-up.
pain.
Well, next up, the master puppeteer with a giant sword, Tyr.
Yes, so Tyr is a very
It
fun
better be a
god to
nerf.
watch himself.
Here it is.
I'm sure we all remember
What?
Oh,
that one
Dude,
clip
that
of,
fool does
you know,
not need
pushing
to
a
be
million people.
buffed.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Dude,
So
there's
Fearless,
so many
like we
people
were just
playing
talking
him,
about there,
dude.
is getting increased physical power scaling on the assault stance from 50% to 55, so a little
Dude,
bit
this
of extra
dude is
help
so
in terms of the actual
annoying, dude.
damage that it's
So
doing,
freaking
as well
annoying.
as getting a cooldown decrease when you rank it up now. So it used to be 15 at all ranks, now it's 15 to 13 when you rank it up.
Nice. Next up, I always love to see this because it's one of my favorite gods, Mulan, getting a little love.
Yeah, Mulan has this identity as a lane bully, and she does start to bully the lane, but you really do need to get to the upper echelons of your cross strike and spear thrust.
Mulan is
1,
very
2.
powerful
You
if
have
you're
to
good
start
with her,
getting to those
if you know how to
evolved
play her.
forms before you can
But
really
as a
start to bully the lane.
newbie,
Before
she's
that,
kind
she's
of
actually
difficult
pretty
to
weak
learn.
Yeah.
But
in the
once
lane,
you learn her,
and
dude, she's
we're
very
happy with
powerful.
her strength when she gets to those thresholds,
Yeah.
but it was just taking her a little bit too long to be able to bully some of these weaker lanes.
You're gonna have your
out
new
of the
white
solo
Reaper
lane,
badge
so
soon?
we're just
That's cool. That's a
decreasing
good
the amount of
achievement, dude.
experience
Only
that
a
we
handful of
need
people have
on
it.
both the spear and the sword.
You'll
in order
earn
to get
if
those
you
to
once you get that
1, 2,
white
1,
badge,
and
then you earn your
those
place
extra
on my
Yep, and to clarify
my
that
trophy
experience is
case
the
up
damage
that
you're doing.
flashes
so again,
above
if
my
you're
head every
being
now and
very
then.
proactive as Mulan in lane, you're gonna really feel these changes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You're gonna start rolling. So
Yep.
that's fun too. Like I love the mini game. I love being able to hop in and be like, all right, I gotta get the spear, gotta get the bow, gotta get the sword. We're training, we're leveling.
Yeah, how many times can I hit in a row? You know.
Exactly.
I back, but like I'm almost there. So super cool. Gilgamesh up next.
Yes.
I almost
What?
said Gilgafresh because I love Gilgafresh. Is just
Are they buffing him?
columns.
Yeah,
He's very
I can
fresh.
nod at that.
Yeah, so Gilgamesh is a very interesting case
Oh,
because he was
snap.
one of the like
Holy,
premier
okay,
go-to
minions, boy! I saw that
healers,
25 to
back
40.
in the
My heart
Warrior Jungle
almost
meta. So I
stopped.
wanted to be a little bit careful where we were going.
Increased
from this.
damage
So
to
we
lane
did,
minions
at some
from
point,
25% to 40%.
Gilgamesh increased damage to lane
Reduce
minions
it.
with Sunforged Scimitar, the initial like
HP
flame burst
5.
around
Okay, I don't
him.
care about that.
So we
Okay.
lowballed it a little bit
So
there.
they
at
just gave him
25%.
more
Bring it up
main,
to 40%, which
lane
is a 50%
clear, that's all.
increase, which may seem like a lot, but
Dude, for a
in
minute
reality,
there.
it's a relatively
Woo.
small number that it's doing. So it's bringing up a solid amount so that you'll feel it a little bit more. And also, we are reducing
You know,
the
you
HP5
rarely
on
see him in
Sunforged
arena
Scimitar
these
because
days,
it's no
too.
longer only when it's active. It's when you rank up the ability, you will gain the HP5 permanently, kind of like we did previously with like Circuit and Giannis.
Got it.
Same idea on the one HP5.
Yep. And then this is largely because Jungle Gilgamesh has historically wanted to max the 2.
Yes.
Because that's his most potent gank tool.
I don't know,
You
dude.
really
I'll have
want
to see. That
incentivize
dude
those
is-
solo lane Gilgamesh players
He's
with points to the one.
I saw
One of
his
the big
stream,
things
dude.
that's
One,
always
he's
helped
really
the two
small and he's
parts of his
wishy-washy,
kit
dude.
That have held him back from being a true solo
I don't think
laner
I don't
have
think
been
our
his clear,
personalities
which we're
will
buffing,
match.
and his lack of sustain.
But I appreciate
which
you
we
looking
are
out,
missing.
dude.
So
But
we're hoping that Gilgamesh
I don't know, we'll see.
will be able to show his face at the higher levels soon.
I get requests all the
particularly in
time
solo lane.
from
That
Twitch
would be
streamers
That
to
would be
try to do collabs with them. Like, dude, but I got to be very
So next up,
careful on who I collab with, because then as soon as I collab with another creator, now my reputation is tied to them. You know what I'm saying? So if I don't know somebody and actually know them and see what they're about, I don't do collabs, dude.
It is definitely the case.
Because the last thing I want to do is do a collab with somebody and then find out they're some freaking clown. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that that dude is, but I mean, it is what it is.
How frustrating it can be and how oppressive it can feel. So he's just getting a very small base damage.
I built up too much, dude. I built up too much to lose it overnight.
5 more damage.
Yeah.
But it was pretty clear that he was starting to fall behind more than he previously has.
Yes.
Fair enough. All right. Loki mains deserve to eat too. So Ravana next up on the list.
Yeah. So Robin.
Yeah, but whatever you do, dude. I mean, I'm not saying you are whatever. Whatever you do, don't go into other people's chats and broadcast our channel, dude. Don't. Whatever you do, please do not do that. Because when people do that, and when I'm streaming, I just ban them.
Make sure that we're bringing him specifically
it's disrespectful.
in the damage sense.
Yeah.
So Prana
but I
Onslaught
appreciate you looking out, Ice. I really do.
A 5% increase
but
in
whatever you
damage
do, please
scaling,
do not be going to other people's channels and spamming
increase.
us.
So if you are pretty good at hitting those Mystic Rushes, that's going to hurt a lot more.
You're getting in there.
Yep.
Rock and roll. All right, no, back to my comfort zone. We're going to some Guardians. Sylvanas getting a little.
Now, if somebody asks us a whole different
so
story.
Sylvanas was one of those gods that whenever we did the huge pass to crowd control and adding roots in to get affected by diminishing returns, all that kind of stuff, Sylvanas got hurt more than most, and that's because his combo was really oriented around knock up, into root, into pull.
Yeah.
That, especially for these long, if someone starts to run away, they've been CC.
Oh, yeah. I mean, to each his own. What happened?
They have those diminishing returns on them. You hit that big nature's grasp. It feels so good.
Yeah.
But because they're you can. Because they're spending that stun time in the travel time.
Yeah.
Okay, hopefully that spinning was only on my end, not y'all's end.
Nature's grasp stun is no longer affected by diminishing.
Or was it them?
It's 1 second. No matter how long you've been CC'd beforehand, anything like that, it's 1 second. We know that this is a popular suggestion for characters like Xing Chen and a lot of other gods who have their combos, have multiple CC layers in their combos.
Yeah.
And we still want to be very, very sparing with where we use this mechanic, because this is breaking a fundamental rule.
Hey, Brandon, what's going on, brother?
Smite. But because Sylvanas so often just ends up these characters are able to act because the stun duration is being taken up by that travel time while they're being pulled back to him. It just didn't feel super intuitive. It didn't really feel that good.
Yeah, I mean, if they can act before they can even get to you, it doesn't quite feel right.
The combo's off. It doesn't feel good. So, well, cool. That's great. Now I just have to land the grasp.
That's the hard part.
That is the hard part.
That is the hard part.
Geb up next.
Very hard part.
So Geb is,
I hate that.
He's doing all right. He's been fine. He does his job particularly well, but he's just fallen a little bit behind the more meta Guardians.
Increased damage at max range of his ability of 7%
so he doesn't have to worry so much about being so close
wow.
to the wave with Shockwave anymore, because his damage at max
Geb
range of the ability
in Arena has been a pain in the butt
It's going
lately.
from 70%
a
to
pain
80%
in the
of
butt.
the initial damage. So 100% if it's close to you, 80% all the way at the edge. It's going to be a lot nicer to be hitting those archers and not have to be sitting in the middle of the wave.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, Stone Shield, which is, of course, his cleanse, his bread and butter, going down by 1 second, just a little bit more often for him
Decrease
to
the cooldown of his shield? You got to be kidding me, dude.
Health, whatever they might need.
Yeah, keep him in that team fight, keep things going. Super cool. Always fun plays made around the Stone Shield.
Dude, that's 1 second is a lifetime in Arena, dude. That's a huge buff for
Geb.
Geb.
Dream for Apollo, and his dream got killed pretty early after his spicy changes. We nerfed him, turned out to be a little bit preemptive on our part, so we're giving him an apology buff here with So Beautiful.
An apology?
Nope, an apology. A normal one, not a pun.
So Apollo's getting 5% more damage.
And then a partial revert on the mana cost nerfs that we did to Across the Sky. Those proved to just be a little bit too much for him to overcome and find his way into the general player base's hands. So we're hoping that this, if you haven't played Apollo, because he got nerfed right
Dude, I can't even remember the last time I played Apollo. I think the last time I played Apollo, I did a video on him 2 years ago, I think it is. I can't even remember.
Now that's a joke.
Medusa's up next. What's going on with Medusa?
All right, so Medusa's been out of the meta for what feels like a very long time.
Increased base damage per shot from 35 to 40.
Mana in lane, she's not really feeling like she had that boxing potential that she used to have back in her heyday. So what we're doing is we're increasing the base damage of Viper Shot by a little bit to give her a bit more of that boxing potential. And then on top of that, we're also taking the mana cost down on the ability from 50 to 70 down to 50 flat. And then on top of that, Acid Spray, which is her main clear, is also going to be receiving a decreased mana cost from 60 to 80 down to 40 to 60. You're using this a lot.
Dude,
you want to make sure that it's not
that's
costing you
that's a pretty
your whole mana
significant
bar.
You're eating through the whole mana bar.
buff
Got
there,
it.
dude.
Well,
20 mana,
we're
that's a
gonna
lot in
Mage
arena,
zone next
dude.
For the last two, starting with
I hate running out of mana.
Chronos, Mage ADCs have been pretty prevalent this year at
Yeah.
FPL level play, but
Yeah.
Chronos has not. Which
No.
is
Dude, I
a
haven't
good
seen
sign
Chronos in like
for the
forever,
Master
dude.
Or
So
Chrome Dome.
I can't
we're
even
giving
remember
him
the
a
last time I
small
played
base
against a
attack
Chronos.
speed buff, and while this might not seem like a lot, base attack speed is very important for gods that care about getting attack speed because it makes any future attack
Damage
speed they
give,
get
defense is
more
tricky to
valuable.
play against. Yeah,
so
for
this
sure.
should be a pretty big deal, especially because he gets built-in a free attack speed whenever he
0.05,
accelerate,
right?
Which we are also giving a small buff,
Yeah.
going from 15 to 14 seconds. So Chronos, when he's in the zone, is doing pretty
Dude,
well, but just
0.05.
ends up
Are
falling
you
a
even
little
going to
short,
feel
so
that?
getting some
I mean,
more,
that's not even
general
a
buffs in his
a-
direction.
Yeah,
that's
he's
like
more
a
of
fraction of a fraction of a
super
second.
late game carry. Most of the other magical ADCs at least have a little
Yeah,
bit
I
of
mean-
help that they can get in the early game. Chronos really scales with time.
Yeah, you
as
funny.
you think it would.
I mean, are you even going to feel that, dude? It's like, did they just do that just so they do something extra to that guy? I don't know. Oh, let's add something else. Do a 0.05.
Yeah,
just throw it in there.
So
mean-
Zeus is a very interesting case, right? Because
Uh-oh.
he is very, very good in non-conquest modes, but when it comes to conquest, he just
Increase the
doesn't keep
base
up.
damage.
He's
Oh,
old man,
there
he's
goes
gonna
that.
float around,
Remember I
but
told you guys I was working on a
so
basic
Lightning
attack
Storm
build for
is
Zeus.
A very big ability.
Here we
And we want
go.
to be very careful with
Increase
this
the
ability
base damage
because
of the
again,
lightning,
it is
so that's
very,
gonna help
very
out.
good at zoning. It's good at area control as well. So we're keeping the buff kind of small, but towards the late game because that tends to be where either he is,
I'll take
doing a little too much, not enough. It depends on the character.
Dude, that's huge. 60 late game on that, dude. Base damage on it. That's before any of his freaking
So I want to make sure that if you're
stacking.
getting hit by those 1 or 2 ticks, that it is going to be doing
That's
a little bit
huge,
more.
dude.
And if you're with a team that's going to be able to keep them in the storm, or you're the fire giant and you're just sitting there the whole time,
Yeah.
it's going to be doing a lot more.
Yep. It's good stuff.
It's good stuff.
Because you
It's
get
good
that
stuff.
that
So,
ult and then you just
we
start
got it. We talked
basic
about,
attacking the crap out of
Remeber
people
This,
real
the
fast.
big
It's
craze
hilarious,
right
dude.
before Worlds
Freaking hilarious.
changes. And now we're ready to move on to another piece of content releasing next Tuesday. Super close. Always
We
fun to
at
say
least
that.
got one win
That's the
today, right?
Shoujo event. You've seen it. You've seen the announcements on Twitter. Super excited to show it off, but we'll do it right after this video.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Oh, dadgummit. I'm going to get a copyright strike on this crap.
Kill them all.
When will you learn that your actions have consequences?
I hate when they do that, dude.
Imagine not being in Grandmasters.
It's all right. I'll fix it after they give me the copyright strike.
Let's play some games, Chad. I've been waiting all day for this.
I've seen tougher circuits in a toaster.
I hate when they
That
do
is
that,
right.
dude.
V Shoujo is back yet again, but with Zen this time. We got Zentreya in, so this is super awesome. As you saw, we got the new skin. We got a bunch of recolors for some of the favorites that we have from the last one.
You can go
which is
talk
super
some
awesome to see them
smack.
back. I
You
mean,
pick
they're
some
so fun to
fights.
work with too.
Who are you going to talk
Like,
smack with,
every
Ice?
time
Who you beating up on?
for the socials, dude.
I know.
Iron Mouse. That it just killed me.
Yeah.
Like somebody
Oh,
was like,
yeah.
"No, that's how she wants it spelled. Like you're gonna do it that way." And I was
Yeah,
like,
it's an inside joke.
"That's awesome. Yeah, it is, and it's so good." I'll admit, I was dying going through. Like it went live. People were like, "Who spelled it wrong?" It was killing. I was loving it. So. Absolutely love it. Absolutely glad to see this. And you've seen some of these before. The new colors, we're gonna leave y'all to explore those. But with Zen showing up, we wanted to get in and show that off a little bit. So let's hit the card art. At least.
Yeah. Dude, this art is
It's
incredible.
So
So
good.
cool.
I love this style too. This is a very
This
unique
reminds me
style
of back in the
card art
day
that,
for all you
only the
OGs.
shoujo skins have.
They
And
used
it's
to
just
have
like anime aesthetic.
Robotech.
It's so
It
fun.
Yeah,
reminds me of
aesthetic is,
Robotech.
Well, fire. As you
Something
can
you
see
see on
there.
Robotech.
Super cool to be able to work with V Shoujo again. Again, they're really fun to work with. They're as you can tell by what they do, like by the work as VTubers, V Shoujo. It's just they know how to have fun. They know how to bring people in and have a good time. And
dude, come on.
Like that in all the work we've done.
Those guys, they're
like,
blowing
oh, yeah,
smoke
let's
up
make it
our
epic
freaking
and awesome and
tailpipe,
exciting
dude.
and great
This is a
content,
way
so-
for them
And I
to
mean,
tap
it's a
into these
Mulan skin.
people's
It's Entree Mulan.
subscriber base and follower base who don't even
Yeah,
play
Mulan
the
is so
dang
much
game
fun, and I'm so excited
just
for
to
the geckos
bring
to get their
new
hands on this as
blood
well.
to
I mean,
Smite.
it's gotta
I
be
mean,
Taco
come on,
Tuesday
say
every
it for
day.
what it is,
every
dude.
single day. It's gonna
It's
be
a publicity
absolutely
stunt to get
incredible.
more eyes on
And I
Smite.
think
That's
this
all it
deserves
is.
a look in game. So let's dive in.
Yes, let's take a look.
Because all these VTubers, they don't even, most of them don't even play this damn game. But what they do is they have to sign a contract,
the green
probably,
energy?
that they
Ooh, the
have to
targeter.
play it for so many
Oh, it goes
months, right?
red.
And promote it on the
that's
channel
so
so many
That's really
months.
dope.
And they're probably getting paid for it too.
I'm a sucker for any like green effects like this. That's my favorite color, and I'm about it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
Sam's the
Robotech.
cyborg from the future, so she's got to make sure that all of her tech is ready to go, and she's got the weapons prepared.
Well, I don't
She's got
know.
a
One of
bow,
them probably
spear,
does
sword,
play Smite.
The katana's ready to go.
But I
and
guarantee
she'll
you
knock
there's
all
some
these
that
here with
don't.
The ultimate as well.
Because in the
Absolutely.
last
And again,
one, they had that
just
one
super
girl that
cool
didn't
to
have
see
a
all of
clue
this,
what
you
the
know,
hell she was
it's-
playing.
I love getting to do work like this with awesome people who have
I
made
mean,
a
you
name
can't
for
hate on them,
themselves
right? They're trying to
being
get
fun
paid
and
too.
incredible and-
But
and-
these guys need to
VShojo
don't,
is just that
you know,
way,
make it
so,
more than it
As I'm
is.
sure
I
you're
mean,
hearing here, Zen was able to
it's
do
just a
her own voice
publicity
pack
stunt,
as well, which
dude.
was awesome to have her in. And she's also got a nice helmet toggle as well, which is one of the
Yup.
features of her models. And she's got quite a lot of them. So we wanted to make sure that we were representing the cyborg form true as cool as we can. And just look at that.
That's so cool.
So awesome.
It's got a lot of expressions as well, which is going to be awesome. You
Yeah, I
as
know
a
one
player
of
might
them
not see
actually
it, but
did
I'm sure your
play
teammates
before.
are going to love it.
Yeah.
But I know there was one that was just lost in the sauce, dude. I tried watching her between her
I'm excited for y'all to get your hands on
freaking
with PTS
nails on a
and, with the
chalkboard
update
voice
next
and the
Tuesday.
fact that
So
she
it's
didn't have
gonna
a
be-
clue what the hell
it's
she
gonna
was
be
doing. I
cool.
had to
All
turn
of
her
the,
off,
you know,
dude.
that skin
My
has a
brain
recolor as
almost
well, so Stray
exploded.
has a recolor along with all of the other VShojo skins that you saw in the video right at the beginning. So looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. It's always fun.
No doubt.
So now we're getting into something crazy. Now we're diving into something little wacky.
We're diving in.
We're diving in. We're going deep for this one. It's going to be a whale of a time. It's Baku Kujira, and we're going to show that off right after this video.
All right, here we go, baby. Here we go.
The land will be consumed by the waters. Never out of reach.
Did he just knock her out?
Turn from whence you came.
Bro, is he putting people to sleep?
Be enveloped in famine and fear. A chilling plague. Spirits surround us, screaming silently.
It's Baku Kujira. We're so excited, and I am joined by some people you've seen and some people you haven't seen in a little while. We got Clumsy on the stage.
Yeah.
How you
back.
doing? You've been busy. I know you've been chefing back there.
Yeah, no, we've been cooking, and
been
I'm
cooking.
glad to see the whale finally joining the battleground.
Yeah. So if I remember
Oh,
correctly,
you
it's
don't
been
want
a
him to be
collaborative
bigger,
effort
dude.
between
If he was
you
any
and Baku
bigger, he'd be an
Kujira.
easy
So
target.
I'm gonna keep saying it.
The hunters
Dive
would be able
into
to
it
aim
and
over here
know
and
what that
hit you way the
process
heck
looks
over
like.
here.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I was finishing up Maman Brigitte.
Yeah.
Clumsy's been hard at work with year 11 stuff and all that, but
Crazy.
so you kind of took over the start of Baku, and then once Maman was out the door,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
kind of came in and helped out there.
Yep, that's exactly right. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's always fun. I mean, we always work together in the design team anyway.
Yeah.
So this one, it always comes pretty naturally.
Heck, I'm still
And, yeah,
cussing
it's
out
exciting to see
Thulu
how
every
this one
time he's
shakes
in
out.
my way,
Awesome.
and
Well, I
he's
guess,
like this
you know,
big.
at
I
a
can't
high
even
level,
imagine this
obviously
guy.
We're gonna jump in and look at this in game, but what was the process of bringing Baku Kujira kind of out of, I guess, the ocean of mythology and into Smite?
Well, I mean, when we were thinking about this at the end of this year, right?
Yeah.
At first, we had our whole God roster lineup, and then we're like, it's season 10. We got to spice things up, right? We have to celebrate. We have to go even further.
Yeah.
Go further than ever.
He
before, right?
needs to bring his mic in.
And so we were thinking, we always have this process between whether it's the videos at the beginning of the year and the teasers, or whether it's the data mining and everything like that. We wanted to always try and find little surprises whenever and wherever we can.
Yep.
And this was one that we really wanted to pull out of the idea bank. We always have a lot of creative discussions and brainstorms with all the developers to see what we can really do in Smite that excites all of us. That's something that we wouldn't expect, and our players therefore definitely wouldn't expect.
Yep.
And one that was on the forefront of that was absolutely Baku Kujira. And I think we're seeing that surprise and positivity
off.
reflected by the community. So that's
No doubt.
awesome.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, you know, it's reflected in what the community has been saying. You pulled it off. We snuck something in there. We managed to surprise everybody, and
Paul
that is
strikes
just
again.
It gives everybody a warm feeling to see people be like, "That's crazy." You're like, "What?" So super awesome, and we'll be ready to go in game in just a second here. but
Dracula as an
let's show off the card art
assassin?
first
Yeah.
before we get
Yeah,
That'd
have
be
to.
interesting.
all of the art for Baku Kujira is so inspired.
It's so cool. Like, you know, it's a skeleton whale. Like, how crazy can it really get? Really crazy.
And we talked about in the Closer Look blog post, and the art for Baku Kujira was something that we really wanted to push to the forefront, and that's something we do with all of our Smite gods, right? Is we want to say, hey, okay, what is this god? And if you look up the stories, you look up like what he is. He's a skeletal corpse. Like, what's going on with him that really pushes the boundaries? Well, that's for us to do. That's for the artists to really help us creatively influence, and I think it just shows so well in the card art and in game.
I completely agree. And for those of you who saw the Closer Look blog that was released, like you got a preview at the Mastery card art, which is one of the coolest card arts
Unbelievable.
ever. Like, we do so many cool things, but you also got to see what the concept looked like. You know, we go through so many.
Dude, just
so
show
much
him
iteration
already.
to figure out what is the best look we can bring for this, and our teams are just always on top of it. It takes a village, as I think we said earlier, to both eat a giant sub sandwich and to create such a cool god. And
I think we talked about it somewhere as well. It's like for Baku Kujira, there were so many different variations of card arts that were just like, we would just want like just do all of these. Like that one will be the default, that one will be the master. Like just keep it all.
Yeah, it's crazy that you can hit so many times.
There we
in
go.
one like test. Sheet.
Holy
So,
crap,
and
dude.
there we are with the turnaround. Super awesome looking. And again, it's a whale. It's a giant whale.
He's
It's
just
Smite.
he's just
Dude,
wailing. Like,
they're going to be able to hit you from their
Yeah.
fountain.
We wanted to make sure that he didn't just look like any.
Okay,
other
let's see what he
stereotypical
looks
whale.
like
We wanted to see the
in
different types,
comparison
whether
to
they're
regular
alien
people.
or not, or
Yeah.
and kind of bring
Holy
our vibe.
he looks like a World of
in the
Warcraft
stories where
mount.
He is just a bleached bone skeleton. We didn't want to do that either. We wanted to make sure that he felt more of a deity, more of like a
Oh my
mythological
lord, dude.
Leviathan, and how that would look alongside the other roster of our gods.
Well, I don't know. I think y'all knocked it out of the park, and I'm excited to
Dude.
see this in game. I think we'll be good to go. So we're gonna.
Are we doing it?
If
Yeah,
if
let's
you
throw back.
if I
Are you gonna
miss
take
this
us in?
guy in arena, then I
Let her
need
rip,
glasses,
Lauren.
dude.
Let's, I'm excited. We
have a
Holy
we pushed some
crap.
boundaries on Bake. Yeah, we definitely did. There are some very unique mechanics
I don't know what you're talking
here
about.
for him that I'm really excited to.
Pretty simple.
I hope you know what
show
we're
off.
talking about.
That's
And
part of the kit.
One of the greatest jumps in the game.
Yeah, the animators had again a whale of a time, right?
A
like
whale.
Okay, that's
It was a
enough.
splash.
That's it was fine.
Bruh.
But that's the last one.
There's no way in hell you're missing this
Well, I
guy.
don't know about that.
That
You
one
could
was
be
away.
you can have my aim
Alright,
as a
we're
hunter
ready.
and hit
Yeah,
this
fire
guy.
away.
Show it off.
Holy crap.
We're munching.
We're munching.
All right,
There he
so,
is.
so there's a lot of stuff to see there, but there's a lot of intricacy that it's easier to talk about, I think, than see right off the base. So let's start with some basic attacks. Like you have the
What?
big AOE basic attack. It looks like.
Yeah, this is something we've never done before. Just a constant AoE basic attack. It's just a pulse around him. It will hit in the full 360 degrees, so enemies behind you will still be getting hit. This does mean that there were some particularly potent interactions with some basic attack items, so I am sad to inform the community that he will not proc basic attack item effects. With
I
his
knew
basics,
it.
But
I freaking knew it.
We made sure that we were still keeping these basics feeling really fun with a lot of other little mechanics that we'll be talking
I
about
freaking knew it,
as we
dude.
continue to move on. But just really trying to, as I mentioned in that Closer Look blog, try and go down this route of what does a solo lane guardian
Dude,
lane
you build
fully
this
feel
guy
like,
with full
much like
defense
Norman
and a
Warrior
few of
does,
those nice
over there
choice
and
items that
trying to let
I
him
like
be
to use
a
in
lane
some of my
dominator.
builds.
And these basic attacks are a big
He's
part.
gonna be
And
nasty,
this kit
son.
intrinsically has mechanics that play around with the base attacks in a way that if you
Yeah,
allowed
it's kinda-
things
it
like
is
item
kinda-
block effects
well,
to
let's see what
also
his special
influence that, it
attacks
would
are
just
before we
kind of
start
break
judging,
his
right?
own gameplay flow.
Yeah.
Yes.
We wanted to make sure to contain it in a way that felt healthy.
But
for
he's
the
just
kit.
so big, dude. He's
Well, I think the best way to
he's gonna
explain
get
that is to
CC'd
move
left
into
and
the
right.
kit, onto the passive Curse of the Ghost Whale.
Yeah, so there are two kind of components of this passive. Let's start with the more passive component of the passive. Because he cannot proc basic attack item effects, but we wanted his basic attacks to be the focal point for a lot of his damage. Baku Kujira will convert a percentage of all protections from items and abilities into basic attack damage. So it is 30% of any protections that you buy or that you gain through abilities like
Oh,
say, maybe
wow.
your AO1, just a theory.
Yeah.
That's what I was telling you, man. This is going to be a tank that's going to be built as a tank.
So he's able to still buy his items that he wants to, but get that damage coming through really effectively.
Yeah.
Got it.
But that's not the only conversion that he does. This basic attack is capped at this speed that you see here, 1.25. He starts that at level 1. He will not gain any attack speed by leveling or by buying attack speed items. Instead, he will convert any attack speed that he gets from abilities or items into basic attack haste. So it's very simple conversion. 1% attack speed equals 1% haste. So if you build 50% attack speed, your basic attack movement penalty is 50% less than what it would normally be. So you still get that benefit. Shogun's Kasari, for example, being a really, really good item on him because he just gets less basic attack movement penalty. Right now, Lermy's got 100%.
That's actually pretty strong, dude.
Items,
so that means he can just keep on rolling out and doing the damage.
Slowing down whatsoever.
That's cool. Now, something's going on. We're gonna switch over and jump ahead just a little bit. So we'll get back to that and look at some of the additional recolors and the card arts for that real quick, and then we'll be right back in game.
I don't know, dude. I don't know how I feel, but I'm going to have to play him to really get a feel for him. I don't know, dude. I think he's going to be very difficult to play in Arena, to tell you the truth.
Comes out as well. And that has a card art as well that we'll show off in just a sec.
It's all going to depend on his if he has any counter CC
all of
element
his
to
card
him.
arts turned out awesome because there are lots of different types of gods that we have in Smite, but only one whale.
Only one
like legitimate ghost whale.
Yeah.
Which is,
Look at
there
that.
it is.
That color scheme is insane.
So it goes so hard.
That's the Reaper color scheme, baby. Of course it's insane.
For whoever is in that town.
That's the Reaper whale.
Rinsed.
No. But that's just sometimes how it has to go. His whole personality is that he's not a particularly malevolent, ghost whale, but if you've done wrong and deserve to be cursed by him, he's not gonna lose a whole lot of sleep over it. So
you can do an attack speed build for him, but you're gonna need protections, dude. You're gonna need some serious counter CC. You have to max your counter CC on this guy.
Thank you all for the patience. We'll get back to the mastery card art here in a minute, but we're going back in game. We got it figured out. So we were talking about the passive and the transference from attack speed to movement speed haste. So.
Right. So the more attack speed that you get, the less you are punished for basic attacking. And because he has to basic attack for a lot of his damage. In team fights, we were just finding that he was just falling too far behind. Couldn't really catch up to people. This was a really clean way of doing it.
And it also just feels kind of thematic, right? He feels like this fish out of water, but he's controlling the environment around him.
Dude,
So
this is almost like playing freaking Cerberus. You know what I'm saying? With no, of course, Cerberus doesn't have an AoE, but you're gonna have to be at point blank range to do any damage with this guy.
Yeah.
And so those are the passive.
Hopefully he has some type of a ranged
One
attack.
More active part is that you see this eye that's open and kind of looking around on his passive meter, and these swirls underneath him. That means that his passive has not been procced. If an enemy god were to hard crowd control him, then they would become cursed. And that when an enemy has a curse debuff on them, they deal less damage to all targets. And we can talk more about that curse as we get to the AO2, as that's kind of the primary applicator of the cursing, but you get it as well for ending up getting crowd control.
Getting the hard CC. All right, so let's move on to the first ability, Rough Waters.
Yeah, so Rough Waters. I was saying you might get protection some places, but he increases his attack's range. So you can see there it goes from it goes to 20 radius, so much larger. And he also gains a lot of attack speed. It's 50%, but
what does that mean?
It's 50% haste.
There we go.
So it doesn't attack any faster. But if you have 0% attack speed, you will have 50% haste from activating the AO1, and you will gain protections for each target that you hit, and that includes.
Honestly, I think that people are going to play this guy for the first week, maybe two, and then you'll never see him again.
Damage around the minions, gain a bunch
I
of
don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But
damage on his basic
so,
attacks,
at least in Arena, I can see that this guy's going to be very difficult to play.
Continue to build those protections, get a little bit of haste without having to itemize into it. and then be that link.
Because you literally got to be at point blank range, dude.
Area of influence.
Yep.
He wants to be where you are, and you don't want to be where he is.
Yeah, you want to stay away. And this plays into what you said earlier.
Yeah, you definitely
too,
have to
about
try him out to see if you like him or not, right? You're not going to really know until you try him.
It's very wrapped around. Get the buff.
I'm going to give him a
attack,
try.
get, like,
In
get
fact,
more
if
damage from the
I'm
stats,
actually
it's
in
all this-
state,
There's more links coming in.
when
Yeah,
PTS comes
more
out, I'll
links,
try it
let's
out in the
keep moving
PTS. I'll do a
Sonic
video on
Wave,
it.
ability number 2.
Yeah, so if the basic attacks are the primary function of the kit,
Yeah.
this is the secondary part where he
It's just-
sends out this wave of water and air that slows enemies and applies a mark. You can see that little mark above the enemy Odin's head. That means that they are going to deal reduced damage to all targets for 6 seconds.
Okay.
Now, the key part about Baku Kujira's kit is that he can
Splash,
use
splash,
the
you're getting
AO2,
trashed.
put it on cooldown, and then anytime he basic attacks an enemy, a portion of that cooldown is refunded, so that he can then reapply the mark to enemies. So
Have a look at that
gods-
actual cooldown going through.
Exactly.
I mean,
That
that's
is
a
the
pretty
real
good aspect
cooldown
there,
when
I
you've not
guess.
got cheats on at this exact moment.
It is.
It is one. Every basic attack you hit on an enemy god reduces the cooldown by 1 second, and that can stack multiple times, as you see here.
Yeah. Okay.
And if you hit a minion, then that's 0.1 seconds, because if it were 1 second, he would just have it up instantly in the middle of the
But it still happens, right? It's not
does.
completely exempt from hitting minions. If you're doing this in lane, that's part of that kind of lane bully thing.
You
that
think it's
Azra
going to
was
get
talking about,
nerfed
is that
right
you're
away?
doing the team fights, you're increasing your range.
I don't know,
in team
man.
fights,
We'll see.
You're getting your 2s and your curses on
I
multiple
doubt. I'm
enemies.
sure it's going to get
in
nerfed.
an unusual sense,
For sure.
diving into a fully stacked minion wave with somebody sitting in the middle is almost a good
It's
thing.
great.
He's very good in
you're,
that
you're
scenario.
building,
exactly.
You're getting abilities, you're building stacks, so that's...
And you'll see that curse mark becomes amplified.
Um,
so if they're
I
cursed
can tell
already,
you for
and then you
arena,
curse them again, then
it's
the
going to
slow
take
is
some
double.
skill to
The
play
slow
this
is not
guy,
6
dude.
seconds, it's only 2.
I really don't think this
the
guy's going to be
damage
newbie
reduction
friendly
that
by
they
no
deal
means.
is also doubled. So
Okay.
it can get up. You can reduce their damage.
Just from the
output
simple
by
fact is that
20%
up closeness.
at
But we'll
max
see what the
rank
rest
for
of his
6
attacks
seconds.
do
That
before I
is
say
an
anything.
incredibly potent curse to be putting on your enemies.
Yeah.
And as I was saying earlier with the passive, if they already have a curse mark on them and then they hard crowd control you, that will amplify their mark to the stage 2.
It's 1 second cooldown, I think, on his number 2, right? Only his number 2, not all his attacks. Just his number 2, from what I understand.
They're just less effective
Yeah.
when he's around, and it's because he can
It's
so
just on his
easily
fan attack.
spread this damage reduction mark to all of his enemies.
Yeah. The protection that he gains from the one, it's something that he requires him to be in the fight. In minion waves, sure, he's just got one god generally to deal with in solo lane. But if he needs to get in there and fight multiple gods at the same time, he's putting himself in a precarious position.
Yeah.
So getting those protections from the AO1, and then that playing into the passive itself is just providing him more damage. And the 2 is there to really contribute to more damage reduction for the enemy. So he's got ways of increasing his damage and decreasing the enemy's
What's
damage
up,
at the same
Elite?
time while being within them.
Yeah, I think that's going to play into some really interesting positions in team fights, especially as people start to learn and get into high-level play, because, you're using that auto-attack movement penalty reduction to weave through the enemy team. You're trying to apply damage reduction to the back line. And
I don't know,
you're
dude,
stacking
man.
as you
Like
move
I
through
said,
people.
I'm going to have
It's
to
gonna be
try this
really
dude out in
interesting to watch
PTS or
Baku Kujira
next week when it comes out,
navigate
either
through
or,
that, I think, so.
and see how he
he's-
feels.
At his core,
I'm just not a very big
simple,
fan of
lots
in-your-face,
large area,
only
AoE
melee
based
type
attacks,
gods, you know what I'm
away
saying?
very easily. But getting that locked in, like I'm
Dude, my
constantly
dog is snoring up
applying
a
my
storm.
mark to the right enemy.
Now the big
at
question
right
is,
time,
what are the
making
cooldown
sure I'm
timers for
trying
his
to
attacks?
Get into the middle of a team fight to hit a bunch of basics. So that my
Because
Sonic
if his
Wave will
cooldowns are
back up.
long
He's got
cooldowns,
a
dude,
very
this
high
guy's gonna
skill
suck.
ceiling at the same time.
Yeah, I was about
If
to
he
say,
has pretty
something
short
confident
cooldowns,
reducing damage output for
aside from the
anybody is
one
good,
that
but I
cuts
think
down
you'd
with
rather
basic
hit
attacks,
the
but I'm talking
on
about the
ramp
other
if
ones,
you're gonna
Exactly.
then he won't
so-
be too bad, I
Well,
don't
cool.
think.
Well, to help him get to that back line, we have ability number 3, Twisting Dive.
He looks
Twisting
like
Dive's a
he
fun
plays
one.
like Jorgemender.
It's a little twist
cool.
and a dive, as you see. It will stun and push enemies to travel with him. And what feels really great about this ability is that whether you hit them at the very beginning of the dive or at the very end, they will still get pushed to within your basic attack range. So you'll never push them away from your own potential damage. And it does allow him to set up really, really nicely for things like ganks, where if you can slow them with Sonic Wave, then walk behind them and twisting dive them towards your tower, it's a pretty potent CC tool. And it's not just single target, because you see that circle right before he leaves. It's one of our favorite shapes that we don't get to use that often, the lollipop targeter, where it does damage in that circle around him and then damages enemies that he ends up pushing with him as well.
Got it. That's super cool. And again, I love it's a whale. I love.
Dude, that'd be funny to use that to push people inside of your base.
We wanted to make sure when developing a kit that we play up on the visuals, but you also have an interesting gameplay, right?
Yeah.
So
Have Hercules yeet him, and then you push him into the base. Or have Shang throw him, and then you push him into the base.
So, all right, last but not least, and this one's a little crazy. Even I don't fully understand what's going on here. So we have Yokai's Lament, the ultimate. Let's dive into this.
Let's see this ultimate. Let's see this ultimate.
It was very fun seeing people's guesses for what the unique debuff would be.
A lot of people you left just enough hints for people to get it right as well.
Yep. So it is a big donut around Baku, and on that outer ring of the donut, the bigger area, that is time dilation only for enemies. It will not speed up your allies, but it is a time dilation for enemies. We really, like Clumsy said, we were talking about making a whale. What would we do? Whale song really came into play.
Yeah.
That's a big part of it. He begins to sing, slows down that time on the outer edges, but it isn't like Olarun where you walk into Olarun and you just get stuck in the mud.
Yeah.
It applies stacks of time dilation.
Okay.
Gain over
So it's
time
like an
and then fall
Olarun
off
debuff
over
that
time.
stacks on
Really
you.
important as well because this time dilation area, it's moving with him, right?
Yep.
And he can move a lot at sometimes as well. So we want to make sure that if you're constantly going in and out of this area, it doesn't feel like you're just moving in and out of mud instantly on a dime,
Yep.
but it's something that stacks on and stacks off.
Exactly. So enemies that might not want to get time dilated, which I imagine is most of them, you don't get time dilated on the inner circle. So that seems like a good place to go, except unless you don't want to get eaten by the whale, because he gets bonus basic attack damage during that time, and his basic attack range automatically expands to cover that inner circle in its entirety. And you take increased damage from all sources, not just Baku Kujira. But that means you're taking increased damage from him. He gets increased basic attack damage during that time, and it's fairly significant as you get into the later stages of the game.
Yeah.
His damage isn't bursty.
Yeah,
It
I'm not
isn't
too
like,
excited
oh, man,
about
he
this
just
guy. I'm not
hit
gonna
me
lie,
twice
dude.
and killed me, but
you guys know me. I'm not much of a
it'll
melee
be
type
down- it's
player
chunk,
anyway.
Yeah.
Chunk on the inner portion of that, and it feels really, really gratifying for him.
I don't see too many people playing this guy after the first or second week, to tell you the truth, unless he just happens to be a surprise good player.
Tough answer.
Yeah, what a question.
Yeah, no easy answer.
Something you'll have to figure out for yourself in game for sure.
Oh, I don't know.
And one more thing about Yokai's Lament. This was something that big
Yeah.
shout out to Kellen and the audio team for getting this in. You're experiencing a whale song so strong that it's distorting all of your abilities, everything like that.
It's slowing time.
It would also affect your audio, wouldn't it? 'Cause it's the song.
I don't know, dude.
So,
I don't know.
Your audio.
I can tell you that I'm not too excited about this guy, but I'm not, like I said, I'm not a melee type player,
really
so
was like the perfect little flavor cherry on top.
I'm sure some of our
those
warriors
things we
and
love to
our
try and
guardian
find
mains
you
are
that,
foaming at the
that
mouth to
takes
try
that
this guy out.
Getting hit by that ability to the next.
I mean, I'll still
Yeah,
try him
that's-
out.
I mean, I can hear it now. The way our audio team is, slow time.
Yeah, to each his own for sure. That's what I'm saying. Everybody has different play styles. You know what I'm saying?
It's so
that's so like our audio team. They're not like, well, job's done. They finish.
But
the
I
job,
guarantee
and then
you,
they
there
stare
will
at it
be
and they're
people
like,
that
"Job
will
done.
be
What
very
more
good
to
with
do
this
for
guy.
job to make
Guarantee
job
it.
Better.
Yep.
They're just you can't stop them from innovating with.
Yeah, I'm not very
so,
excited about him either. Tell you
shout
the
out to
truth.
y'all. This is an incredible looking god.
I
Guardian
agree.
lover myself. I was immediately attracted to that. But it's another beast. We have a giant whale in Smite. We have
Yeah,
a
first
whale
there's a
song.
first
We
come,
have-
first serve.
there's just a lot to look forward to. And the utility
I
in
guarantee
this
you, I will not
is
be.
gonna
I'll
be
tell you right now, I will.
Yeah, he's a really,
On Tuesday's stream,
his playstyle
I will
really
not
developed really
be the
nicely
first one to
with
play this guy. I'll let you guys play him. I'll play him
we
last.
really wanted to make sure that he felt like this inevitable force that's kind of plaguing your team. He's not zooming through the team fight or anything like that, but he's just kind of floating there, doing his thing. And if you're
yeah,
around
that's a
him,
good question.
things
Can he
probably
be
aren't going
executed by a
and
Kwang?
a huge shout out to the entire team, of course, but particularly.
So that's
to
a
Nate
good
on the
question.
program.
Can he
Seems
be
to do a great
picked up
job
by
on it.
Nizam,
Diana
and
from
can
Effect,
he be
Sears
ulted
QA,
by
those
Himdler or
teams
whatever the hell they're
really
calling his
stepped up
name,
and made this process
and
a lot smoother.
in Kwang? You know what I'm saying? That's a good question, dude.
Well, I mean, I always love to hear shout outs for the team because there are so many people. We can sit here
What's
all
up,
day with a
Kels?
list. So cool. So we jumped around a little bit when we
Yeah,
were
he
audio
just
up and
seems
running. Let's
dude.
dive back into the card arts for some of the other skins releasing with this, including the Ascended skin for Baku Kujira. I love the.
We love the.
I will
purples,
tell
right?
you
Yeah.
that I mean he was a
And you know,
surprise.
like,
I was not
I'm
anticipating
mad
this.
at
I didn't know
the
nothing
light
about this.
Oh, yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
So it
that's-
was. I mean, it was a good
it's-
surprise.
yeah,
But like I
speak
said,
any
we'll,
effects there.
until
No,
we
I didn't-
play
I
and we
didn't
won't know,
put that
dude. You know
feedback
what I'm
in there,
saying?
but I wasn't saying
Well, you
take
were
that out.
thinking
You
it,
know what
yeah.
I mean?
I mean, we'll
Yeah,
see what
exactly.
happens.
I don't know
But
though. It kind of looks
I'm
like
not
the
too
lightning bolt
excited
doesn't
about him,
really
tell you
do
the
much,
truth.
So
Oh, that's a tickle.
No, yeah, he does.
But I wasn't too
this is
excited
not
about
very
Maman
good.
Brigette
That's the
either.
good thing
I mean,
about no flesh and,
and
a lot
she-
of
and
blubber
some
at the
people
same
can
time. Got
destroy
really
with her.
insulated, really good against the lightning.
No doubt.
So again, this is the Ascended skin, part of the.
but I'm
Year
really,
10
really
pass. And then
interested to
last but
see
not
if he
least,
can get picked
you may
up
have seen
by
it on the,
Himdaler's
Closer
ult,
Look blog, but we
by
have the
Anquang's
Mastery skin
ult.
card art.
Can he be
Oh, I love that one.
I love
The
it.
perspective
picked
is
up by Niza? You know what I'm
the
saying?
flip
That's going to be interesting.
perspective, You know, coming
Yeah.
the sky at the bottom of the card art and him.
I did see people
coming out.
asking it first.
I
It's
know,
like,
yeah,
which
he's-
direction he's going. You
Yeah.
got to think
reaching
about
out
it.
of the water and
reaching.
just heading towards the sun, but flipping this perspective, like
It's gorgeous.
unbelievable. Unbelievable is my wallpaper.
Now I do have to ask you, very serious card art lore question here.
Yeah,
Did that guy deserve it? The dude
Yep.
on the boat, he did.
100%.
100%.
Okay.
No doubt.
Got it. So he kicked.
Bad dude right there.
He kicked a kitten. Before
Yeah, I
he-
agree.
I'm not
For
probably
his
trying to kill
ults,
Ted.
if they
No,
would have made
the-
him go
the
underground,
legal
I
ramifications.
think it would have been.
the same
I think it would have
exactly
been
what he
cooler.
did.
To tell you the truth,
Like I means that
I agree
can't,
on that.
but
Make him like almost
Baku's
like
in the
a
Okay, was in the right here. All
like
right.
a Sobek where he goes
You know Baku better
underground
than I do,
and
so.
gets protections.
well,
I think that would have
Made
been
it
better.
to
Yeah.
the end of year 10. This is just it blows my
Unbelievable.
mind.
That's crazy.
I know, isn't
I've
it?
been
It's
transfixed
insane. I know.
at- for like 5 days. I've just been thinking like, wow, like year 10. We so many crazy changes, all the seasons, the map.
I don't know,
changes,
man. I
the
guess we just
gods,
gonna have to wait and see.
Worlds is
We just
right
have to wait and
around
see,
the
man.
corner. So I can't express how excited I am, how fun it's been to be with all of y'all here for this entire year. I'm looking forward to year 11 and what comes next. And
Yeah,
I'm looking forward
hopefully,
to seeing
hopefully
as many
season
of you as I
11 will
possibly
be a
can
lot better
at
than
Worlds
season
in
10, dude.
January. It's
In
gonna
my
be
personal opinion, I think
mind-blowing.
season
So,
10 almost killed
Make
Smite,
sure to
dude.
stick around. We're gonna have Dev Insight right after this. So bring your questions. Start thinking about stuff you want to know about Baku or any of the
We got
changes. Bring those questions in.
3
Make sure to
Guardians this
talk
year?
to
I
these
don't know.
wonderful designers here. They're gonna help you figure everything out that you might not have caught on to. Make sure to check out the patch notes.
Yeah, you know how
This whole
Sobek's
time, they have all
ult,
the
how he goes
details and
underground
numbers
like that,
everything,
and he goes,
start
nah.
start doing the
I
math,
think that would have
figure
been
out how to
cool.
get
They
that,
would have done that with
how to
this guy,
prove
where he
them
goes
wrong, get that
underground like
typical
that,
Baku
and then
Kujira
get
build
some type
online.
of protections.
And
You know what I'm saying?
also, make sure to watch out for PTS. Get in there and send us all of that feedback so that we can start prepping. Because we're writing it out to Worlds now. We're giving pros time to prepare, but year 11 is right around the corner.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Not
been
far.
we've been chefing on it, and y'all's feedback gives us so much to work with. And like we did with year 10, we're looking to make year 11 even better. Hard to do. I know you think that's crazy, but they're back there.
Oh no, it's not hard to do, bro.
Thank y'all
It's
so
not hard
much
to
for being
do.
here
Trust
for,
me,
what,
the bar is
13
very
update
low.
shows this year? Yep.
Let's hope
Can't wait to
season
see all the
11 brings
worlds.
back more
Thanks,
people to
everyone.
Smite, dude.
You there?
Oh, come on now. All right, so that's pretty much it, man. That's it. That's pretty much the last update for 2023, right? This is gonna be what the 10.13 update. Why the hell does that say the 12.13? Isn't the 10.13, right? So that must be a typo. But yeah, dude. So I mean, it is what it is. I'm gonna hold judgment until I test this dude out. But he is going to be going live on Tuesday, and then PTS will be going live anywhere between today and Friday. It'll probably go live. And if like I said, if I'm still in Ohio, I'll try him out because I'm trying to get to. If these people would call me back, I might fly to Florida this tomorrow or the next day to check out some houses down there to rent. So for some reason, if I do travel to Florida this weekend, between now and Saturday, then we might not have a Sunday morning stream, right? But seeing how these people are dragging feet, I doubt I'll be going anywhere this week. But if for some reason I do, I'll post it in our Discord and I'll post it on Twitter that we are not going to be streaming on Sunday. But as of right now, we're going to go ahead and keep it like we will be streaming on Sunday morning, right? At 10:30 Eastern Standard Time right here on YouTube. Now, Tuesday stream, our regular 11:30 Eastern Standard Time in the morning on YouTube stream on Tuesday is when this thing is going to go live, so we'll test it out. Anyways, welcome to all our new Reapers that we picked up today. And man, I don't know. Do you guys think he's going to be a good one, bad one? I don't know, man. I say we're gonna have to hold judgment until we see him in action, right? But anyway, that is what it is, man. I'm not going to drag this any longer. Hey, just because the stream stopped doesn't mean the fun has to stop. But you guys, if you're not part of our Discord, type !Discord in the chat, and you'll get an invite link to our Discord. Right? We got people playing Smite pretty much around the clock. Again, hope to see you guys on Sunday. I'm Dark Garza, Yo G on GC. We'll catch y'all next time.